When the Helldivers get a fire lit under their butts and decide to put in the work, there is no army in the galaxy that can stand up to the might of managed democracy. That's right, with almost a full day to go in the current major order, we have blitzed through it, but the bugs move fast and have already hopped over to another planet. There's also an interesting read from one of the game reporting sites, some tips and tricks on how to adjust to these new bug foes, and the game's CEO shuts down a question about sales. Thank you so much for continuing to tune in, and if you want to support the channel, the easy and free way is to hit subscribe and to ring the notifications bell so you never miss one of my future upload alerts. What's next for Helldivers? Join me and let's check out all the latest from HD2. Today's featured mod is one I personally really like, although it's fairly basic, but there's something about an all-white with black accents look that just does it for me. This white B22 LUT edit is brought to you by 𝗔𝗵𝗂𝗋𝗋, and they've taken the new B22 Model Citizen armor, that is the chrome armor we received for the 1-year anniversary, and they've reskinned it into bright white. Democracy Protects is a very good armor passive, and medium armor gives you that little extra chance of surviving. Now, as part of this mod, the author has also used the matching helmet, and I paired it up with the Proof of Vaultless Virtue cape. And by the way, that one's up to you. Overall, I like that bright white look, and the black accents really make this armor reskin pop. Check in the video description for a link to this new armor over on Nexus, and full credits to the mod author for this one. Also, if you have a mod that you want me to feature in an upcoming video, leave the name of that mod down in the video description, and if I pick your submission, expect to get a little shout out in the next video. Today's Superstore are the alternate Viper Commandos armor sets. So, first up, you've got the PH-56 Jaguar, medium body armor with peak physique, which is great for all you divers out there wanting increased weapon handling. And you've also got the, how in the hell would a human actually be able to run in this thing, super heavyweight guerrilla gorilla armor with engineering kit for those +2 throwables, and reduced recoil when crouching or prone. And as always, expect to spend super creds in the Superstore. Despite the insane new Predator bugs, major order, and intense resistance, the Helldivers, all 100,000 plus of you, managed to slam this current major order out of the galaxy. And as of the time of this recording, we have just under 22 hours to go on the clock until completion, and it's done. But that doesn't mean our foes have given up, because those wicked fast and super nasty Predator bugs have now hopped over to Errata Prime. Now, when I grabbed this footage, there were over 51,000 divers there taking on the super bugs at 9:30 on a Monday morning. So something tells me you are loving this new strain of Terminids, and we're going to talk about this more in a moment. Currently, the enemy resistance for the liberation of EP is sitting at 3.5%, so we are making headway there, but the resistance is pushing back against us with ferocity. Now, the DSS is currently in orbit over Errata right now, but the actions are all on cooldown, with the heavy ordnance distribution not available for another day plus, and with the Death Star about to reach its movement window, it looks like the vast majority of the votes are still electing to leave it over Errata Prime. For those of you few and hardy squid divers looking to spill more ink, Baldric Prime is currently the only planet with some Illuminate action on it, and the resistance is light there, sitting at a level 3 invasion campaign. Also, while we're here on the map, today's daily or personal order is to extract 3 times from Terminid missions, which used to be a slam dunk easy 15 medals, but now with the new super bugs, the game has really ramped up in terms of difficulty. So you may finish the mission objectives, but getting a single diver onto that shuttle and successfully extracted just got that much harder. Of course, taking a look around the galaxy over on the awesome Helldivers companion app, link can always be found in the video description and pinned comments, and Errata Prime, with 51,000 or so divers, is picking up liberation percentage at about 2% an hour, with victory there projected in 28 hours. 𝗵𝘂𝗶 seems to still be losing progress, dropping about 0.1% an hour, and I think we all expect this to be a slow and agonizing grind as the wormhole moves closer and closer to Super Earth. And for those of you looking to make some quick progress around the galaxy, 𝗲𝗏𝗏, Aesir Pass, Boar Rock, and Gar Harran all have low decay percentages. Is now the time we pull an end around and go for something like, say, Aesir Pass while Joel has his attention focused on the bugs in the gloom cloud? Who knows, but drop me a comment and let's find out what your tactical flank of choice would be. Switching gears, and something I haven't focused in on my videos in a while, but we're going to take a look around the game reporting sites, and this article really caught my eye from VG247. It reads, Helldivers 2's Illuminate should probably apologize to the bugs, as players very much seem to be taking that nice planet getting ripped apart by a black hole personally. I would agree with that. With a bit of help from the bug divers, well-established ruthless Terminid bloodlust. Wow. Super Earth looks to have gone full Michael Jordan on the latest MO. I mean, that's one hell of a catchy headline, right? Let's check out what it says. Mark Warren goes on to write, last week, Helldivers 2's Meridia black hole destroyed an entire planet. Angel's Venture went kaboom. It was a true tragedy, though there may be a silver lining, judging by the fact the main objective of the orders that followed right after it has been breezed through with over a day to spare pending any last-minute twist in the tale. Angel's Venture will live on in the terrible vengeance we will claim henceforth against all foes of freedom, read the fresh MO Arrowhead deployed on Saturday. For now, it is the Terminids who volunteer to be the receivers of our wrath. That line hits. Anyway, let's keep going. So, how's that very two birds with one stone kind of mission been going? Well, badly for the bugs, and therefore the Illuminate by extension, given it'll result in key dark energy research. As of writing, Fenrir 3 is already under full Super Earth control with just over a day left to run in the order. That means it's taken about a day to go from 0% liberated to 100%, with a lot of players now having moved on to battling for another planet, Errata Prime, while waiting to see if a Terminid counterattack materializes. It's hardly the first time the divers have proven incredibly effective against the bugs. I would say we've also proven incredibly effective versus Sony in the past as well. Hey-o. Anyway, hello, maths, but it's still an impressive showing of what the community can do when it comes together. Check out this next part. It says, say what you want about bug divers, but when it's their time for a major order, they get shit done. One player wrote in a Reddit thread that pretty aptly sums up the situation and features a fair few poor folks lamenting the fact they didn't even get a chance to hop in and contribute because the planet fell so quickly. Anyways, there's a bit more here, and I'll leave a link to this one in the video description, but in a way, seeing what the Illuminate did to Angel's Venture and fueling that need for vengeance, along with super wild new Predator bugs, that really motivated all manner and shape of Helldivers to actually log into the game and put the hurtin' on the Terminids in the name of managed democracy. In terms of how the community is responding to these new super bugs, well, I polled the community on my channel starting yesterday, and with over 7,000 votes, in terms of the question of difficulty, 88% of you responded, it's just right. But I do understand there are some out there that are loudly protesting the changes, now saying the game is too difficult, and I would like to say this. So first off, and I'm not dunking on anyone out there trying to shame you, but there is a difficulty setting. In game, you can adjust to get the game to a point where it is challenging for you or you and your squad. If you used to blast bugs on 9s and 10s and find it too much now that the Predator Strain are in the game, there's no shame in backing it down to a 6, 7, or even an 8. Also, and this could change tomorrow when we get a new major order, but for now, you have to really pay attention to 3 major changes that were installed with the bugs. The first is that they are everywhere on the planet. That's right, patrols are roaming everywhere, and they are densely packed together. They come from all sides and are no longer restricted to just standing around and waiting for you to show up at a point of interest. So, if you aren't used to using your headphones and listening for those sound cues, you need to start doing so. This includes constantly rotating your camera to check all angles, because it's the moment you charge into combat only to get attacked from behind that you regret not keeping your head on a swivel. The second and third major changes are to the hunters and these new stalker predators. Now, the stalkers don't zap you anymore with their tongues, but instead just charge right at you at an incredible pace, and if you haven't already, you need to adjust your builds to handle this. Dropping into Super Helldive and just expecting to railroad through a mission with sheer DPS is more than likely not going to work for you, as you need crowd control and overall build and squad synergy. Here's a few recommendations I suggest to make it easier for you. And the first is to use weapons with stagger, like a blitzer or say the cookout shotgun, which will stop fast-moving targets in their tracks, giving you time to deal with them. Gas everything like the orbital gas strike and gas nades along with stun nades work wonders. And if you're having trouble just locating your targets, the laser guard dog has really good range and will lock onto targets, giving you a long-range laser pointer of sorts that also damages targets. I found that the cloaking hunters are actually the rougher of these two new bug variants. They travel in squads, they're invisible, and again, crowd control and stagger weapons are your best friends. If you haven't used it already, something like a Gatling Sentry is also really helpful to rip up lower to medium level chaff and serving as what amounts to another Helldiver standing within feet of you. With full ship upgrades, you can normally get these Sentry units back off of cooldown really quickly, and a couple of these deployed next to a full squad really cranks up how lethal your entire unit can be. And finally, a few bonus tips, at least in my humble opinion, after logging a decent amount of time versus these bugs. And the first thing I would say is you need to stay mobile. Everything moves really quickly, and lumbering around in heavy armor makes you a quick snack. I prefer lightweight to at the max medium armor versus the bugs. Secondly, do your absolute best to stick together as a squad. Lone Rangers, even highly experienced ones, can quickly become overrun and get killed over and over. You stand your best odds of survival against these bugs while standing shoulder to shoulder and ripping into breaches and patrols as a unit. And finally, take a look at your build and experiment. Sheer DPS and big bada boom setups are great and all, but when you're out of ammo and everything is on cooldown, you might start thinking about what you could have changed and what might work a little bit better versus these super bugs. In terms of the official Helldivers Discord, it's really quiet right now, which normally means either something even more heavy is about to drop into the game, or the game seems to be working pretty well. Now, the only question I found a response to was this one, where someone asked the devs would it be possible to know how many copies of Helldivers 2 they sold for year 1, to which the CEO, 𝗵𝗂𝗄𝗃, just put the brakes on this one with one word: no. Which, to be honest, I wouldn't expect him to answer, because those are closely guarded secrets held onto by publishers and usually parsed out during investor calls to increase the hype and get more people pumping money into their stocks and buying more company shares. One source I've leaned on in the past when I was investigating Ark Survival Ascended was VG Insights, who were invaluable with their internal data when I was speculating about the sales of that game. And according to their public data available on SteamDB, they are showing 13.08 million copies sold on Steam PC alone. We've also heard Alex Bohl, part of the dev team, mention that there were over 15 million players at a past award show acceptance speech. But in terms of the exact number of copies, yeah, that's something Sony will probably never reveal, even with Helldivers selling as well as it has. Okay, this is probably a good place to press pause for today. GG's out there, divers, and huge thanks to all of you who were able to log in and hit the new super bugs this weekend. And keep both eyes on this channel, as the new major order will soon be incoming, and I have a feeling that what we saw over the weekend was only the appetizer. Remember to drop me a comment about anything Helldivers related, and of course I will do my best to respond. Also, please take a moment to hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss one of my future upload alerts. All my sources can be found in the video description. And until the next one, this is Lieutenant BuzzLitebeer, signing off.